And in terms of the additional funding at this stage, how much difference does that make to your opportunity, if you like, to scale at this time when this is very much the issue of the moment?
Well, it is really, really important. We see that that also post-corona, it's driving an even faster transition of the industry, and thereby the demands is really going up. So us being enabled to continue investing in both R&D as well as production capacities with this funding round is really, really important.
Peter, can I ask you about the role of Volkswagen here? Clearly one of the investors. What does it mean down the track as we talk about a battery ecosystem that European automakers can all tap into? Does it put Volkswagen at the front of the crowd because they've made this investment?
Well, I mean, Volkswagen has been both an important investor as well as an important customer, and they've provided a number of key orders also for us to project finance the first phase. But they are not the only ones. We are already working very intense with BMW. We are about to add other partnerships. So this is in no way kind of a single customer situation. We are working with a number of different customers.
Peter, is there preferential treatment there? I mean, through the lens of Toyota, for instance, we saw that they'd been very instrumental in helping out a big chip maker in Japan, Renesas, and when push came to shove around a chip shortage, they were okay, they were well positioned versus others. Is that not going to be the same situation here? If there are problems in the supply chain, Volkswagen gets first dibs on the product?
Well, I think the way that this work is that you're actually doing custom development programs. So you will have different dedicated engineering teams, and also the capacity that we're building up is also dedicated towards different customers, is different assembly lines, etc. So there is certainly ways to safeguard each of the key customers' capacities.
Peter, it's very interesting here at the G7 in Cornwall. People are talking about technological alliances coming out of the G7 and like-minded Western democracies. Do you think your customers will be global, or do you think actually there is going to become more and more IP barriers and, dare I say it, protectionist barriers to the global industry, and it's going to be a lot more localised, dare I say it, amongst allies and like-minded companies and countries?
Well, I think what you're going to see is, on the product development side, I think you're going to see new EV platforms that is being developed globally for a global market. But then I do think that you will see regional supply chains and regional ecosystems that will be built up in order to support this. The component and raw material supply chains in Europe, for example, is still in its early stages, but it's really, really important for the industry that this really, really expands.
Yeah, and I think COVID has exposed the worst problems of global supply chain. And so big question then, one, is that the end of globalization as we've known it today? And two, is there a very big cost implication? Because the whole point of globalization is the cost to consumer was much cheaper.
Well, I don't think it's the end of globalization, but I do think we see a stronger and stronger regionalization out of different reasons. But COVID playing one role for sure in this, and I think through new technologies and automation, it doesn't need to mean any financial impacts to evolve manufacturing in Europe. I think we've shown, for example, that we can produce batteries in Sweden at the cost that is equal towards China, even though the labor costs are significantly higher in Sweden.